Hey guys!
Hi!
I'm Taylor with the So What Box.
I'm Emily, the Employee of the Month!
Okay, so today we're going to have our first of hopefully many little monthly how-to newscast video type things. And so let's get started.
Yeah!
So what have you been sewing, getting ready for Halloween?
I have made a table runner using Prairie points.
Oh, that's cool. It sounds hard.
Oh, no. It's really easy, actually.
Really?
Let me show you.
Cool!
So, I started with 5x5 squares.
Okay.
And
how do you decide how many 5x5 squares you need?
Honestly, it's going to depend how big your table runner is. I just did it by sight and overlaid them until I was happy.
Okay.
But to do this, you start with your 5x5 square, and then you want to make a triangle, so we're going to fold corner to corner, but you want ugly side up and folding. I know it seems kind of backwards, but yes. Ugly sides together, and then match your corners. And then the best you can, try to match the bottom corners down here and down here. Not all the time will they line up because, you know, we're human and cutting in a straight line is hard, at least when you're Emily. And so give it a good iron. So that's step one. So we have this triangle. Then we're going to fold it again. So we're going to take the far corner and fold it up. So make these match. And then we're going to come down and iron it just like so. Hold it for a couple seconds. Make sure it's good and crisp. And then that's our first Prairie point.
Awesome. So then you do that with all of them?
Yeah. I'm going to do just a couple. I'll do it quickly on this next one so you guys can just take another recap review here. And then once you have all these done, then you can start laying them out on your table runner.
Awesome. So what kind of fabric are you using?
I just used 100% quilter's cotton. Actually, my grandmother used to live down in Arizona, and so she worked one day a week at a fabric store down there, and so she had all this fabric, and I said, Nana, can I go through your sewing stuff? And she said, knock yourself out, because I am storing some of it at my house because she has so much fabric. And so I went and found her Halloween stash, and I got some good ones. Halloween to me is a little spooky, so I tried to do like not so scary things, so that's why the scariest thing on here is a skeleton.
That's funny.
But yeah, she let me use her quilter's cotton, and that's where it came from. And it was really fun to go through some stuff.
Well, and I'm sure you could use this technique on things other than table runners.
Yes. You can use it for Christmas tree runners that go around the tree.
Oh, that's cool.
Or
the tree skirts.
Tree skirts, yeah. Like a wall hanging, you can use it on that for some really cute edge.
I bet you could put it around the edge of a pillow, too.
Yeah, pillows. I have seen it done to finish baby quilts.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Because then you don't have to do binding. So this is kind of a secret if you're not so good at binding.
Perfect. Well, that's a great thing to know then, because binding can be hard.
So we do have these ironed up now. This I'm just using as my sample top. It's just for like a small table. So it's just, you know, a big rectangle. So you're going to put that pretty side up. I'm going to show you how to do a corner, just because the corners can be a little bit harder. So when we did these Prairie points, we have one side that's closed and one side that's open. So you're going to want to put the closed side in towards the center. So, and then you'll want to match up the corners here. So the corner of your top and then the corner of your point. And then again, see closed side here, open side here. We're going to put the closed sides together, and you're going to want it to look like that in the corner. And then for moving on the sides, you just, either way is fine. You don't have to necessarily watch where your folds are because these are on the straightaways. So I like to alternate them. So we'll go this way, and you just overlap them. And you can overlap them as much as you feel is beautiful to match your pattern of your table runner up here. Personally, I did about an inch apart, which you can measure. I just do it by sight. And then once you're happy with how the overlay looks, you want to pin it. And always overlay the same way. So we went on the top.
That's good to know.
So we'll pin these down. And I like to pin where they overlap. So that's what it should look like. This is our sample. I'll bring it a little closer so you guys can see. And
okay.
Then we're going to sew all the way around. So we'll sew like this. That is crooked.
So do we sew this down before we sandwich this way?
Yeah, you do. So you'll sew it down. And then when we sandwich it, you're going to always do pretty sides together. So see how this is pretty design? Then you're going to take your other piece and you're going to put pretty side down towards it.
So in sewing terms, that's going to be right sides together. So if you ever run into that term in a pattern, that's what it means. Right sides together means putting the pretty side of the pattern towards each other.
Yes, and then always don't pull an Emily, because I've done this several times. Always put a pin up and down.
So the wrong way.
So wrong way, up and down like this. And then like this. And then I know, Emily, do not sew here in between these up and down pins, because that's where I'm going to put my hand in.
And flip it right side out.
And flip it. And then in the end, we'll sew that up. But that's where I'm going to pull from this end and turn it right sides.
Perfect. So the reason probably why you sew this first before putting this on is so that when you leave the gap, there's not weird gapping in between these triangles.
Correct, in between the prairie points. And then once you flip it, they're stitched in between the fabric so it's sturdy, because we folded the triangles, the prairie points, remember? So the weight of that will hold it flat on your table. So you don't necessarily need to do a top stitch, because the weight of the fabric will hold it flat and it'll look presentable on a table.
That's nice. But if you are getting into top stitching, this would be a perfect place to use one of those fancy stitches on your sewing machine.
Yeah, a decorative stitch.
Yeah. You could choose one of those and then just go around the top there.
And if you are clumsy like me, I'm seriously the clumsiest person. But if you do plan on washing this through a washing machine, you totally can. If you top stitch it, it's gonna wash better and hold that. Otherwise, it's hand wash only. So if you top stitch it, it can go in the washer and then come out and iron, and it won't come apart as easy.
Well, also the beautiful thing is, since you learned how to make it, if it breaks, you could fix it.
Well, true. Okay. So, what have you been working on, Taylor?
Oh my gosh, lots of stuff. But my favorite for the fall is definitely hand warmers, because it's freaking cold.
I know, it's supposed to snow soon. Ooh, girl.
So I've been working on these lots and lots and lots of these.
Do you see all these? Why?
Ah!
So she can have one in every truck.
No, actually, yeah, right? No, actually, I think I'm going to actually give these for presents for Christmas.
Stocking stuffers?
Yeah.
What a great idea! I love it.
Yeah. The cool thing is, if you've never made these before, we do have a how-to video, and I'll link it right there. And so you can go watch that, and you can upcycle these out of pretty much anything. I like to use flannel shirts, like old worn-out flannel shirts. You just have to make sure that the shirt you use is 100% cotton. Because if you use anything that's not cotton and you put it in the microwave to warm it up, it will catch on fire or melt.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And it smells really bad.
Stinky house.
Yeah. So, these that I made, I actually used 100% quilting cotton. And you want to make sure that the thread you use is also 100% cotton.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. You could catch the threads on fire.
Yeah, it'll like melt right along the edges.
Then there'll be beans everywhere.
Right?
You spilled the beans.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, most people are used to putting rice in these, right? They're called rice bags. But you can also put beans. I have some here with beans in them. And you can use lentils too. Anything that's a dry, like rice or bean or lentils. And you can find those in the grocery store.
Did you know that they sell beans at the dollar store?
Like bags of them?
Yeah, like bags of them.
Dang, well.
In the grocery aisle.
You could totally save some money by going to the dollar store.
Yeah, dollar store.
I did notice that if you warm them up, so you're going to want to put them in the microwave for about a minute, depending on how big your bag is. You can make these whatever size you want. These ones I used 5-inch squares, so the same as we used for your demonstration.
Oh, yeah. Squares.
Mm-hmm. And basically you just take them, put the 2 5-inch squares right sides together. Remember we talked about
pretty
that?
to pretty.
Right.
Pretty to pretty.
Yeah, and then you sew all the way around, leaving an opening on one end. So Emily talked about how to put those pins in to leave that opening. And then you flip it inside out. And then I made a funnel out of a piece of paper, stuck it in that opening, put my rice or my beans in there, and then just top stitched. So you can kind of see the top stitching there.
Before you top stitch, how do I know how much beans is enough beans?
So you can...
Is it 2/3?
I just kind of eyeballed it. These ones do look like maybe 2/3 full. But basically you want it full, but not too much to be falling out on the sewing machine. Because then you wouldn't be able to sew it. I have made some that are about half full, and that seems to work pretty good too.
Okay.
What I did notice is when you microwave them, the rice ones seem to get warmer faster. Like they're hotter.
Oh, yeah.
Where the bean ones are not quite as hot. But beans don't smell as bad as rice does.
But you can put essential oils on them, correct?
Yeah, so if you use the rice ones before you sew, close the opening, you can just put like 1 or 2 drops of essential oils in there, and it'll mix around with the rice, and then when you warm it up, it'll smell good. So if you're into the essential oils, I would suggest the rice. If you're not, I would suggest the beans. Don't use minute rice.
What happened?
So, turns out that minute rice will like burn in the microwave. So,
I bet your house smells so bad.
Well, luckily I did it at my boyfriend's house. And he was working in the shop, and I put him in the microwave, and he came in and was like, "What the heck?" So, it was smoking really bad, so I put it out on the back porch. Yeah, so don't use minute rice.
But I like how you said essential oils. So going back to your idea that this could be a stocking stuffer, you could do maybe a couple, so like 2 or 3, and different sizes you could even do. But with the essential oils, you could do different essential oils. Like maybe you put lavender in it, so it's a sleep one, or you put eucalyptus in it, so it's a spa one.
That's a really good idea.
So you could use them for whatever that person loves. Whether you're going for like a spa theme or a relaxed theme, or citrus, I heard, is supposed to wake you up. Maybe you could try that too.
That's a good idea. I would suggest if you do that to put them in a Ziploc bag before you put it in the stocking. Otherwise, everything's going to smell like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're going to talk about threading a top-load bobbin sewing machine. So some sewing machines that you get have a bobbin case that's going to be from the front, but most sewing machines nowadays that you get have this top-load bobbin. It's easier to not mess up the bobbin with a top load. So it's really good for beginner sewing machines. Most of the entry-level sewing machines that you're going to get are going to be this way. So we're going to start out with an empty bobbin, and we're just going to go from there. We've got our thread, and then we're going to head over here to this sewing machine. So go ahead and get that on the top there, Em. There you go. So we're going to put it on here. If you don't know where this thing is, look, it goes down and up. So you just have to pull it up. And then there are going to be pictures on the top of your sewing machine here. So you can always follow along with that if you have a newer machine. So where do we go first?
First, we go this way. It looks like.
Yep, and we're going to, we're going to hook it on here. and then turn around backwards.
And the reason you hook it is to keep it in a straight line so it doesn't tingle, right?
Yeah, so this is gonna put tension, which is like brakes. This is gonna put brakes on this thread so it just doesn't come freely. And that's what's gonna make it wind on this bobbin in a tight manner. If your thread winds on this bobbin really loose, then you're gonna have major issues. So we're gonna take this end of this thread, and there's going to be a little hole in your bobbin. You probably can't see it really well here, but if you look at your bobbin, you can. You're going to go from the inside to the outside through that hole. So you're holding this thread up here, and your bobbin just kind of hangs. Then we're going to snap that over here on this bobbin thing. Now, most sewing machines like this nowadays have this where it pops back and forth.
And this is just to lock it in, telling the machine, yep, we're ready to sew, or ready to push the pedal to turn the bobbin.
Yes, because otherwise, if this is popped out, your needle's going to be going. So we're going to first pop it in, turn on our sewing machine, and Emily's going to be the driver today, so
here we go.
So we can see now that it's turning. We want to pull tight on this top thread here, just until it starts to get pretty wound up on that bobbin, so that the thread doesn't fall out, because that would make it really loose as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop that there. And we're going to take our little scissors, cut this top tail off, because we don't need that to get caught up on things. And then we can cut this right here.
Then we want to unengage it, and then you can pull it straight off.
Yes.
So one more time, we unengage and pull up.
Yeah, if you forget to do that, you're going to try to start sewing and the needle's not going to go up or down.
You're going to be like, what's going on?
When we start to thread the top here, it's going to be kind of the same as what we did for the bobbin. So we're just going to come over and we're going to start the same way we did, but then follow the directions to come down here like so, around this, and then up. There's a little arm in here. You can see it on your machine if you look. We want to make sure that that thread is caught in that arm, because that's what pulls up and makes that stitch. So then we're going to come down, and we can always turn this wheel over here to make the needle come up so that we can thread this. We're going to come down and go through this little clip on top of the needle, and then we just have to take this thread and put it through our needle eye, which is sometimes kind of hard. And then make sure that that's going down through the hole in your presser foot. Now we're ready to put our bobbin in. And we're going to drop that down into this hole. And how do you tell, Emily, which direction to put this?
There is always a picture that'll tell you with arrows which way the bobbin should spin.
Right, so you have to pay attention to the way that the thread comes off of the bobbin. So we're going to put it in here, and then there's also a little tiny notch that you need to hook into. So see right here how our thread is caught on this side, the side closest to you? That's what you want. If you try to thread this and the thread is not caught down here, it just comes right up towards the presser foot, then you need to rethread it, because your tension's going to be off and it won't make a stitch. Once you get that in, hold on to this top thread here. Hold on to it and move your needle down and then up. And look how it just caught that bottom thread, and you can pull it right up through this plate here. And then we're just going to put on our plastic cover, and then we are actually good to go at that point.
We are ready to sew our next project.
Yeah! I hope you guys had fun with us.
Yeah! Hope you learned something. Stay tuned for our Christmas video.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're going to post our next one probably around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which is going to mean that it's only like a month until Christmas. Oh my gosh, can you believe that it's already freaking Thanksgiving?
It's not Thanksgiving, it's Halloween.
Oh, well, okay, so I guess everything's just going so fast.
Look, I got snow nails.
Oh my gosh.
See that?
all the faces of Emily.
Oh, you know. But I'm halfway done Christmas shopping, so that's great.
Holy crap, you're doing that early? I know. Jeez.
Well, I love Christmas!
If any of you guys are looking for Christmas gifts, we've got some special collections just for sewers in the Sew What Box website. And you can go to sewwhatbox.com and click on the gift collections section. And we spell that funny. It's SEW. whatbox.com, and they come with a bunch of goodies like these awesome spring-loaded scissors, a couple
pins,
yes, and a couple of our pre-cut projects. So they're all pre-wrapped and just get mailed to you. You can send them to yourself to put under the Christmas tree, or you can send them to your friend.
And those boxes are so fun because it's everything but the machine.
Yeah, pretty much. You might need an iron too.
Well, an iron, but I mean, but it has everything: threads that match the project, pens to pin it. If you snap a sewing needle on your machine, like I do, it comes with one of those. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. It comes with everything but the machine.
Yeah, and so those collections actually have a couple of our projects that we sell, and if you buy it in the collection, you get a discount. So we hope to see you there, and let us know in the comments below if you liked our weird show that we did.
Yeah, stay tuned for next time.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Bye!